It's recording right now.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal, okay, guys. Okay, Aunt May is gonna die in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Okay, she's gonna get killed by Green Goblin. Mark my words, Gobby himself is gonna kill her. And when she's dying, she's gonna say, "With great power comes great responsibility." That's my Spider-Man prediction.
I'm gonna put that at the very beginning of the episode. This
Hot
is
off Pat's presses.
hot off Pat's presses. Editor's note: we recorded this episode before No Way Home came out, so both of us had not seen No Way Home when Pat said that prediction. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything about his prediction because I know a lot of people still haven't seen it yet. So yeah, just keep that in mind. No, we still didn't watch the movie yet because it wasn't out yet. All right, enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to the 11th episode of Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
My name is TV show watching Pat.
Pat's been watching a TV show. That's why today we're not talking about a movie. What? That's weird.
Series first.
So we're not just movie podcasts. We're also gonna try at least to do some TV shows or mini series or things like that. And today we're starting with WandaVision, the first MCU TV show that's like specifically MCU canon, because of course there were shows before this like Daredevil.
One day we're gonna talk about Daredevil, even if it kills me.
It might actually kill him.
It might actually.
Fucking Matt Murdock's gonna come, like the blind man's gonna go kill the deaf man. He won't see you coming, and you won't hear him coming.
He is the perfect adversary for me.
Together we make one crippled man.
You know what? If anyone would beat me up in an alleyway, I'd let it be Charlie Cox. But he's not in this show.
No, he's not.
And this also isn't a Netflix show. This was the first premiere Disney Plus original, I believe. Or at least the first non-Disney related one. I think the High School Musical TV show came out first. And they did other things before that, because Disney Plus was up for like a year or two, I believe, before WandaVision started. But this was their first, like, not Disney owned, or not Disney created, big budget show for Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision, part of the MCU, as Lib said. And this is the first in their line of never-ending TV shows that they won't expect general audiences to watch to understand future Avengers movies. And that's a conversation for a different time.
Well, anyways, let's talk cinema. Well, it's technically not cinema, but I'm gonna say that anyways.
Let's talk streaming services. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No, it doesn't. Hey guys, it's Future Lib and Future
Behind
Pat.
the scenes at the Fresh Off the Reel podcast.
Whoa. So we're here to tell you that we sound different. And we just finished recording the episode and we completely forgot to mention that we're still working out the kinks on Pat's new mic and my new audio mixer. So he might sound different, I might sound different than I did in the last episode, and we might sound different than we're going to sound in the next episode. So this is just a little warning that if the audio's bad, we're probably gonna fix it. You should say something.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with us for a little while longer. Hopefully, within the next couple of episodes, we'll have all these audio settings sorted out, and you can get the best experience possible. So until then, just please bear with us. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
See you there.
So,
Anyways,
do you want to read the Letterboxd description for WandaVision?
yeah,
The
sure.
description segment of it is going to be a little different because it's a TV show, so it's not just like every episode they do tie together, but it doesn't flow in the same way a movie does. And how we're going to talk about it is also going to be a little different than how we talk about movies, just because of the nature of how this is presented to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our first TV show. Hopefully we have figured it out somewhat, but this might be a little messier than our usual stuff. We will try.
So here is the pretty vague description of WandaVision, a 2021 miniseries directed by Matt Shakman. Wanda Maximoff and Vision, two superpowered beings living idealized suburban lives, begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems.
I think that yeah, that's damn accurate.
That's
Honestly, for like,
that's pretty accurate, except for it's saying that Wanda thinks it's not as it seems. Wanda knows exactly what's going on.
well, Wanda's protecting, right? I think the vagueness of that description fits this kind of show perfectly because it is kind of pieced together in the same way a mystery is,
Mm-hmm.
except we're told up front that things aren't as they seem, but the mystery spoilers is that Wanda also knows, and it's all her fault. But we'll get into that when we get there. I think it's a cool play on the traditional mystery, and it's also not something the MCU has ever done before. At least not like in this way. It's cool. Far From Home kind of deals with a mystery at least a little bit, and they deal with it one way. This one does it a bit differently. I think it's kind of cool. In fact, this one has several mysteries woven in there, and it's cool.
So, in my opinion, the first three episodes, like it's like the first three episodes and the fifth episode are like top tier MCU for me.
I agree.
That's
You want to just give your overall series review score first, and then we could get into this.
yeah. So my overall review for the whole series is 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Pretty good. That's all I have to say.
Um, yeah, my overall review is a 3 to a 3.5 out of 5, but with an asterisk because, like Lib said, I agree with him. I think the first 3 episodes are fantastic, and if the whole show was as good as those first 3 4 episodes, it would be a 4. But because of issues that I'll get into later, I can't give it that 4. So it kind of wavers between a 3 and a 3.5 for me because I really want to love it more than I do. You want to talk about why those first 3 episodes are amazing?
So the first 3 episodes are purely just Wanda and Vision, basically them, and then there's this other character named Agnes. Yes, she's a reoccurring character. So the way this show works is for the first 3 episodes, and for I think the rest of the show, when they're in the TV world. So there's a TV world, and then there's the real world. In the TV world, in the first episode's black and white. It's like Dick Van Dyke Bewitched, something like that.
The first episode is Dick Van Dyke. Bewitched is episode 3.
Okay, Bewitched is episode 3, right? And then the second one, still black and white, but then they
It's
go up a decade.
yeah, it's I Love Lucy. So like the
So it goes from the 50s to 60s and then the 70s.
the way the show works is that they're basically parodying different eras of like family sitcoms for each episode, and this is true for the whole show, bar the last 2 episodes, which stay within the same era and have like time things that we'll talk about later. But yeah, the whole show is basically them just referencing eras of TV until the mystery is revealed, and there'll be like little like dips of like doubt in each episode that make you question what's actually happening. And like Lib said, there's like the real world where that's where that takes place in the modern MCU era, where they're also piecing things together. But the core of the show is built on them referencing TV, and each episode has its own artistic flair that I think really shines in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering, this takes place after Endgame.
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess we should like throw that out there. Spoilers for Infinity War,
yeah,
Endgame.
spoilers for Infinity War, Endgame, WandaVision, of course, Captain America: Civil War. And that's it, right?
Yeah, like just to like briefly like just get you up to speed because you do need to have seen those movies, especially Infinity War Endgame to understand this show. The show picks off after Endgame. Vision is killed in
Infinity War.
Infinity War because Thanos takes the Mind Stone. So Vision's dead, and Wanda is pissed, for lack of a better word. Wanda is pissed. She develops a romantic relationship with Vision,
They're supposed to
In
get.
Civil
They
War.
did get married, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They have this relationship in Civil War and Infinity War. Obviously, things don't go well for that couple. So that leads us to the start of this series, but like before the events of episode one, where like Wanda visits this small town that reminds her of her childhood, and she puts everybody in a trance, and she brings Vision, well, fake Vision, back to life, and she's just living an idealized life, going through different eras of TV sitcoms because that's what makes her happy.
Yeah, because when she was
And
a
that's
when she
and
was a kid, she used to watch sitcoms with her family.
Yeah, while like everything was blowing up outside, she was
Yeah.
watching sitcoms with her brother, who's also dead. Spoilers for Avengers 2.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
twist that comes up later.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
It's a funny
so
twist that
all
comes
yeah
up later.
yeah so all that happens immediately before episode one, and in episode one, we're just thrown into the Dick Van Dyke Show, but starring
Wanda
Wanda
and
and
Vision.
Vision.
Yeah. Jinx.
I was gonna say the actors' names, but I completely blanked on I blanked on Paul Bettany for a second. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany.
Also to
Uh,
throw it out there, this is just personal favorites, but Vision is my favorite MCU character. Don't know why, he just is. I
I
love
really
Vision.
like Paul Bettany in the role. I think he's great. Vision's fun. I like Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda a lot as well. I think she's really, like, especially in her first like two movies, she's really underdeveloped, undercooked.
Yeah, she needed this
But
show.
she needed this show, and she greatly benefits from having it. I honestly like she's like rose up the list for me with this show.
Remember in Age of Ultron when she had a really shitty Russian accent?
Yeah, that really shitty accent that they kept up with all the movies, but they just like slowly ease on it until this show where there's a joke where she speaks with just an American accent and it's really funny.
she's just she's just American now.
Yep.
um in the first episode, there's like no like until near the end of the episode, there's just no hints of there being any foul play here. It just looks like a black and white sitcom starring
Yeah.
Wanda and Vision.
Yeah,
Uh,
like, had you not seen any of the promo material and you just watched up, you just went into episode one and just watched it, you're probably gonna believe that it's just a Dick Van Dyke reference. Like they really they play it super like safe. It's just a Dick Van Dyke reference, and it's so fun.
yeah.
The costumes are great. They really capture that era perfectly. The first three episodes of this are just super fun and charming because they just have fun with it.
See, just here's a fun fact. This is only applicable to the first episode where they did this. It like the name of the first episode is called "Filmed in front of the film before a live studio audience." This this episode was actually filmed in front of a studio audience, like for real. The laugh tracks are from the live audience in this episode. Of course, they all the effects and everything they used digital effects like in post, just like they did on old TV shows like Dick Van Dyke. But you know the scenes where like Wanda's in the kitchen, all the stuff is flying around her.
Yeah, they actually used
Yeah, they actually use like you could see the strings. Like
yeah, and it's really charming, and I think that's something the show benefits from a lot. Is it's just really charming. The character interactions are really charming. The way they encapsulate that style is really charming. It's just a fun, feel good show for that first couple episodes.
yeah. So the first episode is just it's just an episode of a sitcom until Wanda,
The very
yeah,
end.
until the very end where Wanda and Vision are they're having dinner with Vision's boss and the boss's wife and
Was
and
played by
Kitty from that 70s show.
Kitty from that '70s show.
Yeah, you know that 70s show.
Yeah.
That's like that's legit probably my favorite TV show ever is that 70s show.
It's one of my favorite sitcoms. I love that '70s show.
Seeing her was such a surprise. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Kitty." I didn't even know she still acted. I don't know her name.
I don't think she does serious roles anymore, or like big roles anymore. I think she just does stuff like this.
um
We didn't get we It would have been funny. We didn't. They already had a show for the '90s, right? So they weren't gonna do that 70s when they got to the 90s.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool if they did that 70s and then they brought her
Yeah,
to be like
they did Full House for the 90s episode, right? Is it
I believe so.
because I know for the 2000s episode that's obviously Modern Family. But yeah. And another thing the as the years go by, they actually I don't think they actually used cameras from that era, but the aspect ratio is different in every episode. Like even in the second to last episode, there's 9 episodes. So in episode 8, wait, is the reveal for Agatha is in 7 or 8? It's in 7, isn't it? It's at the end of
It's
7.
it's in 7.
Yeah, so episode 7, that's Modern Family. It's filmed in 16 by 9, just like every other TV show. But then as soon as we're pulled out of the, like in all the episodes, as soon as we're pulled out of the TV world, it's back to the cinematic 1 by 33. And
They did reference the big shows.
so when the boss and the boss's wife, they're eating dinner at the table, shit gets weird. Because
Yeah.
the boss starts choking on food. And then
Yeah.
the camera starts panning in a very modern way, not in like the show like in Dick Van Dyke like they would in the 60s. This is where the show caught my attention, and that this is probably my favorite thing when I'm watching movies. I love being confused. I love being confused. I love Inception. I love when I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and what I like a lot about episode ones is Wanda doesn't know what's going on either, and like obviously like it's revealed later that she's behind it and she is aware of what's happening, but in the moment she's just as confused as the audience is, and it really does well to play with that mystery, and it's just really cool. I wish the whole show was this good.
Yeah, I really wish the whole show was just stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
it would have been one of the best shows I've ever seen.
yeah. And they said that, like you were saying, that the boss is choking and no one's helping him. And
Yeah,
then eventually things like snap back to normal and he's helped and everything is fine. And when the episode ends,
it ends
it
normally.
like it ends normally, but then when you watch the credits, you kind of get more pieces to that puzzle where like the fuzzy TV like screen from that era is like the credits background and the TV closes. Like it's like, that's where you get to start like piecing things together. It's really cool.
And that's a theme with the first 3 episodes. So the first 2 episodes are in black and white. At the very end of the second episode, Wanda like she's like oh, snaps her fingers, and now the whole episode's in color, and then for the rest of the
Yeah,
show, it's all in
it's
color.
and it's funny because that episode 3 is when go to color. It's called Now in Color.
Yeah, and she and this is a big thing. In episode 2, at the end of episode 2, Wanda gets pregnant randomly out of nowhere. Vision's
Yeah,
a
her stomach.
robot.
Yeah, her. Well, I mean, Vision in this reality is not. Oh, he is a robot, right?
No, Vision. This reality is still a robot.
He's still a synthezoid. Yeah,
Yeah,
but her stomach just grows. Like she sees another pregnant character, and then her stomach just baby.
yeah. So that's another thing that you're like, what, huh? And then all of a sudden, because these episodes, the TV shows they're referencing are they're split up by decades, but the
Yeah,
in the actual timeline they're only 1 day apart from each other. That's why
yeah,
and then Vision starts getting ideas because he's wondering my wife's only been pregnant for 2 days and now she's in labor. What the fuck is going on?
yeah. Vision becomes very self-aware very quickly in the show.
And I feel like when Vision starts getting self aware, like in episode 5 and episode 6, that's when it starts getting pretty good. And then they drop it because
Yep.
they switch back to the real world. And I hate the real world in this not movie in this TV show.
What like with them saying that like they do cut back to the real world as if episode 2 onward. That's when they start cutting
No,
back to
episode 3 onward.
episode 3. So episode 3 onward is when they start cutting back to the real world. That's when the people in the real world are first made aware of like oh something's happening, you know.
Yeah.
And that's when characters like Jimmy Woo, everyone's favorite MCU character, is introduced.
And
And
also Darcy from the first Thor movie. Remember
she's in,
her?
she's in Thor too, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Technically.
she is also in Thor 2. Remember her? She's here now. And also Monica. Who is
Yeah.
she? Who knows?
It's weird because I really wanted to for them to reference Two Broke Girls because they brought her in. I'm trying to remember the actor's name.
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. They brought Kat Dennings in, and when they got to like the '90s, I would have really hoped, or like the '80s. When did Two Broke Girls come out? Hold on.
Two Broke Girls. That's like early 2000s.
Oh, it's late 2000s. It's 2011.
What?
It's 2011. Um,
2011? If I
yeah, well,
feel I that makes me feel
they
old.
they they did Modern Family and The Office for that era, but I think it would have been interesting. So like later in the show, Darcy is brought into the
The TV world.
the the fake reality that Wanda made. Westview, that's what it's called. She's brought into Westview, and I thought they would have done something interesting. Like it would have been cool if, just as a reference, Darcy was a diner employee or something wearing the yellow outfit. It would have been a cool reference, but they didn't go through with it. A little disappointing because I love Kat Dennings.
Yeah, I really like her too. She's a really good actress.
And Two Broke Girls is a fantastic show, but they don't really use Kat Dennings for much here, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Episode 3 is when they really get heavy into that. That's when the government is trying to.
That's 4. That's episode 4.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
I watched this show today. If it was, and I'm still not remembering. Yeah, for those watching, I literally, I mean, I saw the show as it was airing, but I marathoned the show again. I started last night and I finished today, and it goes to show how much I remember.
Yeah, so episode 4 doesn't even have Wanda and Vision in the episode. Episode 4 is just the government people and what's her name? Michelle? I literally just said her name and I forgot it already. Monica. And
Monica's the girl from Captain Marvel, right?
uh,
No, it's someone else.
no, that's someone else. Well, no. It is. Well,
Oh, yeah,
she's
it is. It's
isn't
Monica
she the
Rambeau. Uh,
she was a teen she was a kid in
in Captain Marvel, she's a kid,
yeah,
yeah,
in
but
Captain
she's an
Marvel she's
adult
a
here.
kid. This is the adult version. This is her.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she's
this is
gonna be in
important.
the Marvels.
Yep, this is important because she gets powers and will be in the Marvels.
Yeah, she gets powers here.
Yep.
Whoa. The way it's weird the way she gets her powers. She just walks through the barrier. That's how she gets her powers.
Yep. I feel like she's a okay. So like, what I was thinking was gonna happen when the show was airing. So like, this came out way post Disney buying Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting for the X-Men to be in the MCU, right? Like we all know what's coming. It's just a question of how. And I really thought that Wanda doing this to Westview because so like again more spoilers for later. We're jumping around. Westview is a real town, and all the people living in Westview are real people. They're just under Wanda's mind control.
Yeah.
And the way Monica gets her powers, I thought that, oh, maybe Wanda doing this to the residents of Westview is gonna turn them into mutants, but that's not what happens. So that theory was busted.
Oh well. So then in episode 5 we return back to the TV show formula, but now from here onward they switch between the real world and the TV world, and that's the thing that people hate about this show, and that's
That's
also
what
the
I hated
thing
about
that
the
I
show.
hate about this show.
This is also the going forward, episode 5 onward is like Vision is 100% aware that something is happening, and he's trying to figure it out. And Wanda is also a lot more. I'm not gonna say villainous. She is the villain of the show, but she's less subtle about something being hidden, right?
Yeah.
She's more angry for the rest of the show. She's a lot more secretive, a lot more manipulative with Vision. And in episode 5, that's where that trailer shot of them flying, looking like they're gonna start a fight. That's where episode 5 is where that happens, and it's the Full House episode.
Yeah.
They got kiddos. It's Full House.
Oh no. I think you might be thinking of episode 6 cuz in episode 5 they're still wee little babies.
Well, they have kiddos.
Oh yeah, another weird thing in episode 5 is at the beginning of episode 5, their kids are babies, but then at the end they're already teenagers. So yeah, something's
They're not
going on.
teenagers. They're young
Okay,
kids.
well yeah, they're like 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the set like they chose Full House. I mean, you have to choose Full House for the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
But it's just funny because Full House is where Elizabeth Olsen's sisters started, and now Elizabeth Olsen is referencing that show, so it's cute.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then in episode 6 is the Halloween one. Now this is where
But wait,
what?
before we get to that, something interesting happens at the end of episode 5,
Oh, right.
which further fueled my mutants theory.
Go ahead.
So as Vision and Wanda's argument is heating up, we get a special visitor, and it's something that a lot of the sitcoms of this era did a lot, where like an episode would end with a surprise cameo
Yep.
from a character everyone knows and loves, and that's how the episode ends. You gotta wait for that cliffhanger. Well, they do this one, and it's Evan Peters Quicksilver, not the MC one.
So in Age of Ultron, so there's the MCU Quicksilver. He dies in the end. Wanda's kind of still mourning because Wanda has no idea how to deal with loss, and that's why she's doing all this TV show thing.
Yeah.
Pietro, Quicksilver, whatever you want to call him, comes to the door, but it's not the MCU one.
It's Evan Peters. It's the Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men universe.
It was played off as
And
a joke.
yeah, it's played off as a joke. Like Kat Dennings is like, oh, they recast Pietro,
Yeah.
and I think that was the moment where I think everyone got like really excited for what's going on, for what's about to happen, because you bring in Quicksilver from a different universe, right?
Yeah.
So is it time? Are we? Because for those who don't know, I think it's pretty common knowledge at this point, but outside of the MCU, Wanda and Pietro are mutants. They're not in the MCU because of legal reasons, but before now, outside the MCU, they're supposed to be mutants, and this was like the first taste of mutants in the MCU. So we get that like surprise cameo at the end, and then like the next episode is called
Oh,
oh
the
no,
episode.
sorry, episode 5 is called On a Very Special Episode. Someone returns. That's the joke.
Yeah.
It ends with him coming, and then like for the next, I think he's in the next 2 episodes. He's in the rest of the show, but the next 2 episodes he has like a major role. Evan Peters is just Pietro. He has his speed, and he's
Yeah.
cool.
But they do nothing else with that.
Yeah, and he acts just like Quicksilver does in the Fox universe, not like the one in the MCU. He's just like the funny uncle, and nobody questions him.
Nobody questions him. Wanda is confused because she's controlling all this world. If she would have projected another Pietro, it would have been the MCU one. But now there's a different one, and she doesn't recognize him. So there's another hint of something else might be going on.
There's
here.
her first hint that something is going on with her. But then she quickly just accepts him, and because she's happy to have her brother back, and her kids get an uncle. So and then like the sitcom stuff continues.
And
For two episodes, we get the episode 6, the Halloween episode, which is very, very blatantly a Malcolm in the Middle reference.
yeah,
Which
and
I love.
also just as a fun reference, Vision and Wanda are wearing their comic book costumes in this episode.
Yeah, same for Quicksilver.
Yeah, and Quicksilver. It's pretty funny.
And one of the kids, the kid who gets speed as his power, he's also dressed up as comic book Quicksilver, and it's really funny.
It's really funny because you realize how shitty Vision's comic book costume is.
Don't you dare talk shit about my comic book costumes out there, you.
So there's a character we've been neglecting to talk about. So she's gonna become super important after this episode. So in all of these sitcoms, there's always the nosy neighbor, the best friend. You know what I mean? There's always like, and she's not in every episode. They're just reoccurring. So that's Catherine Hahn's character. She plays Agatha, Agnes. She becomes Agatha, but that's what she is in the real world. So Agnes is the recurring character in all these episodes, the best friend, the nosy neighbor, and she keeps making jokes about her husband and how shitty of a husband he is. That never goes anywhere, but I love those jokes.
Oh yeah, well, it's literally also just playing on that nosy neighbor thing.
Yeah,
Her husbands are always shitty.
it's always it's a trope that just doesn't exist in shows anymore. But I like that. I like that about her character. I really love Catherine Hahn. She plays really, 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 really good villains. I think I haven't seen a single thing where she doesn't play a villain. Like
She's typecast.
huh?
She's typecasted. She always plays villains.
Yeah, she always plays villains. She's also Olivia Octavius in Spider-Verse. So there you go.
Yep. It's weird how that worked out. Like Haley Steinfeld is also Gwen in Spider Verse. She's in Hawkeye. She's Kate Bishop.
Yeah, so hmm. Big there. So now we have things that are happening that are outside of Wanda's control. And I think they could have gone a different direction with that. I think they could have made it a lot better with the mystery. Like the mystery's still there. But from the very first episode, you could kind of have an idea that something's wrong with Agnes.
Yeah, they're not subtle about the fact that she's you should be suspicious of her. Like even Wanda is pretty suspicious of her from the beginning. Like it's played for jokes earlier on, but it doesn't lead to a good twist, and I don't like the direction the show took after that point. I'm also like firmly on the side that I think Wanda should have just been a straight up villain. Not
Yeah.
just, I mean, she still is. Like, I'm not like her actions are never justified. She's still like at the end of the show. She still fucked these people over, and she's still treated like a villain. But I don't like that there's this outside influence who is also pulling strings behind the scenes. I wish it was just Wanda dealing with grief in a very bad way, and she had to learn how to deal with grief. You know.
Yeah, and then with Agnes coming in, someone that's not in her control and she doesn't recognize and all that stuff, that could have been cool.
Yeah, but they don't really do anything interesting with it, unfortunately.
So
I don't think so.
at the same time all this is happening, we keep cutting back and forth to the real world where there's this government guy and he keeps saying just nuke the city pretty
Yeah,
much.
literally, his plan is just kill them. Well, we could rebuild.
we can reap, and then everyone's like, but there's
Yeah,
other people there, and he's like, I don't fucking care, just nuke
yeah, and like throughout the entire show, the government is sending like spy like little spy planes or drones or soldiers in, but they keep getting taken over by the spell.
And one thing that is really cool, they send this is in the first 3 episodes. I think it's in the second episode where it's still in black and white. The government sends in a drone, but we don't know the government is a factor in the show yet.
Yeah, yeah. Our first hint at that is they send in a drone that is disguised as a plane,
Yeah, it's
full
disguised
plane.
as like a toy helicopter or something.
Yeah,
But
but it's in color.
yeah,
It's
it's in
it's
color.
it is a helicopter. It's in color,
Yeah,
and
and then
that
also in the same scene, I think there's like this guy that's just sweeping the street watching Wanda. Like, oh,
those are like the
the first
first
three
two
episodes are
things.
so good.
Yeah, and I think the show's good up until like six. I think is when I start to lose interest.
Yeah, I started to lose interest at 6. Take away 4. So like the good episodes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, not 4. I really wanted them to just like stop with the back and forth shit. It really took you out of the moment. It was really jarring just switching between the TV world and the real world. I mean, it's not like you couldn't tell which was which. That's not the problem. The problem was the real world stuff was so uninteresting and it went nowhere. The only reason it's there is so that Darcy and the rest of the government can try to piece together the mystery. But I think the thing that takes us out of it is we're watching them try to piece together the mystery when the show
Instead
should
of
have been, yeah, the show should have been trying to make us piece together the mystery.
the government also just exists as a kind of shitty villain. Like the army dude doesn't really have any motivation to do what he's doing. aside from just wanting to kill Wanda for no reason, really. And it's revealed later that like he has Vision's body, like the original Vision's body, and he built a murder machine basically, like to do the American government's bidding, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not really
the White
explained either, I
Vision.
don't think. But like he just doesn't work as a villain. I don't find him at all interesting. He's just a generic army dude, and it's like kind of dull.
It's like the it was like the villain in the first Iron Man movie, was it? Yeah. He's like
But I like Ironmonger. He was fun. Like at least he had like an interesting dynamic with Tony. Where I was like, this army dude has nothing with
anybody.
his employees or Wanda and Vision. She just like it's just dull.
It doesn't it didn't make any sense, but yeah, the whole thing about the real world, that they're like they're remaking Vision as like a war machine, not like War Machine, but as a war machine. God, the MCU is really fucking annoying.
Well, as a weapon, you could just say as a
A
weapon.
weapon, yeah. I don't know why I said War Machine. So they're using
Yeah.
this white Vision. He's like a purely white Vision as a weapon
Mhm.
because the Vision that exists in the TV world is not real. He's not a real Vision.
Yeah.
You could say he
And, and
is a Vision, huh?
and like he basically exists like the White Vision is just so that they could use Vision more in the future, and maybe to lead the Young Avengers or whatever. But they
You know
didn't
what?
want to keep Vision dead, so they had to do this.
You know what I'm excited for? Because
What?
that Vision has the previous Vision's memories, right? Or does it not?
He does, yes.
He does? Okay, good. I really, really want Wanda and Vision to have like a big climactic showdown in one of the next movies. That's probably gonna happen. I'm really
I
curious to see how that would like what would happen there. Probably want probably knowing Wanda, she's probably gonna break down and stop fighting.
well, like, cause they don't meet in this show, right? Like, yeah, they don't interact.
Yeah, so for what Wanda knows, Vision's gone for good. So imagine she just sees him now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen. But this Vision also ends the show. Like the White Vision ends the show, slowly becoming the main Vision. So maybe the next time we see him, he'll just be Vision. You know?
Yeah, in the last episode, the fake Vision and White Vision have this battle of wits, kind of. It's actually a really cool scene. Like the conversation's really awesome. And then
It
White.
is, but then a meme ruined it
Oh
for me.
yeah.
So
And then the White Vision pretty much like comes to his senses because the fake Vision tells him like he's a real being and he has thoughts and all that stuff. And then he flies away, and that's the last time we see him in the show. But definitely not the last time we're gonna see him in the MCU.
yeah, I'm sure he'll be back at some point to be like Red Tornado, just be like the maid or like the temporary leader of the Young Avengers when they were formed.
Yeah,
Because that's clearly where the MCU is headed, right?
yeah. I
They're
mean,
gonna
look,
have
I mean, Kate Bishop,
Kate Bishop, what's it, Spider Man.
Spider Man, Tony's daughter.
Ironheart is gonna be a show.
Yeah.
She Hulk is, well, She Hulk's not young, but She Hulk is gonna become a thing. They're clearly replacing the Avengers with new versions, you know. So,
Also, there's a weird thing. Spoilers for the end of Shang-Chi. Uh, somewhere, somewhere after, before the between Endgame and Shang-Chi, Bruce Banner is not Professor Hulk anymore.
yes,
I thought that
but
was gonna be
in
the permanent thing.
yeah, but then in She Hulk, the show, he's still Professor Hulk.
Okay, so it takes place
So
before Shang-Chi then.
we don't know. We have no idea.
Like, does he just when he hulks out? Does he just hulk out like normal, but he has Bruce's brain?
Probably, and I don't like that. If that's what
Yeah,
they're
that's
gonna do,
weird.
it just removes the hide that from the Jekyll and Hyde, right? If he's still just smart as the Hulk.
It's weird. I don't know I don't know how they're gonna take that, but that was off topic. Anyways, okay, let's talk about the last two episodes because
I don't like it. I just throw it out there. I don't like these episodes.
I don't like them either.
I think they're generic MCU garbage that I don't like.
Agnes, turns out her real name is Agatha Harkness, right?
Harkness.
Harkness, yeah.
She's
Agatha
she,
Harkness. She's a witch. A witch.
yeah, she's a witch from Salem, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Salem actually happened in the MCU, and there were actual witches, and she was one of said witches, and she was drawn to Westview because she like felt Wanda's power, and Wanda, if you didn't know, is the Scarlet Witch, which is in lore the most powerful witch to ever exist. So
Yeah, she's the most powerful magic user, bar the Sorcerer Supreme.
so Agatha is trying to absorb her power because that's what she's been doing. She's been going to all the witches and killing and absorbing their power. Kind of like what Pat thinks is gonna happen in the new Spider-Verse.
Yes. You'll
So
have to watch last week's episode to
yeah,
get context on that. You want to learn about Morlun? You're gonna have to watch.
you have to watch the last episode. Pat cut out when he said that, but that's what he said. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the new mics, by the way. So bear with us here.
Oh yeah. I said it in the last episode. This is episode 2 of new audio setup.
Yeah, I already sound different. I tinkered with the settings a bit. We're gonna see how this sounds. So, we should have said that at the beginning, but anyways. So after this twist, it plays this really good theme song called Agatha All Along. It won an Emmy. That song won an Emmy, so that's interesting. Oh, something we forgot to mention. Every single episode has its own opening for the theme song for WandaVision, and they're all like based on the era
Well,
that the TV
yeah,
world was in, and
yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite little details of the show. So Agatha has this big jazzy thing about how it's been Agatha all along. Agatha's been pulling the strings. She was the one that projected the fake Quicksilver, and she was the one who was like hiding everything from Wanda and all that shit. And
and
after that reveal is when the
do you do
show
you
became bad.
do you like the song?
Do I like? Yeah, I like the song. It's
Because
pretty
I
cool.
don't like the song.
You don't like the
Maybe I'm
song?
just bitter. Maybe I'm just bitter. I don't like the song. Maybe I'm biased, but
I like this song. It's pretty good.
yeah, I don't like this twist. I don't really care about Agatha as a character. She's getting a show, by the way, so I guess I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
learn to like her.
she's getting a show which is a prequel to this because spoiler alert, she dies.
Well, she doesn't die. She's like her memories are erased and she's forced to live in Westview forever,
Oh, okay,
basically.
well, she's written out. I should have said.
Yeah.
So that show is gonna be a prequel, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have zero interest in Agatha's backstory.
Same.
I can't think of a single thing that would benefit this show from that. So whatever. The Agatha twist. After that, the stuff about WandaVision being a sitcom and everything's just thrown out the window for the last 2 episodes because it just becomes, like Pat said before, MCU garbage. And then in the last episode, Wanda and Agatha have this really bad CG battle.
Yeah, they have this generic final CG final battle like in super. That's like a standard in superhero movies now. But like I just because WandaVision started off so like interesting and unique, by the time we get to this point of the show, I was just so disappointed and bored, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like what happened. It's kind of like how it felt with Loki as well. But we're gonna
Yeah.
get to that. We're planning on doing all the MCU shows, so stick around and you'll hear us talk about not only Loki but also the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye and maybe What If. Not
You know
sure
what's
about What
funny?
If.
You know what's funny? Like side tangent. And we can keep this in, I don't care.
Yeah,
But when we were making the schedule,
yeah.
I completely forgot about what if. Like
And
we made plans to do Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki and
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, and I completely forgot about What If. And if that isn't the perfect review on my end for What If, I don't know what is.
Okay, you know what? Here, let's review What If right now. Okay, we have 30 seconds to review What If. It's
I
bad.
haven't finished it. That's my review. I was so not interested that I stopped watching.
I finished it and it's bad.
Yeah.
The only good episode is the second one. The one with Thanos being a good guy. That's the only interesting episode.
the Marvel Zombies episode genuinely upset me, and that's the one that's being spun off into
Same.
its own show.
Oh yeah,
It,
there's gonna be a Marvel Zombies show. Isn't that
I
great?
just I really hope it doesn't continue off to whatever episode, and it's actually the proper Marvel
Yeah,
Zombies
I hope they
from the
just straight up
comics,
adapt the comic.
but like less dark and dramatic, obviously.
Yeah, because it's MCU and they're too scared.
You can't have
Kids are
Peter
watching this,
Parker.
man.
You can't have Peter Parker killing and eating Aunt May.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anyway, WandaVision. We
Yeah.
sucked.
So that's our review of what if two stars. No, not even 1 star.
I'd probably give it a 2, but I haven't finished it.
The last episode of WandaVision is definitely the worst one. The second to last one, a lot of it happens. Like a lot of it is just Agatha bringing Wanda back in time just to, for some reason, just to show her why she's powerful or whatever. And there's this book. Forgot what it's called. I'm just gonna call it the Necronomicon because that's what it. That's what.
It's just the magic book of prophecies. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's the magic book of prophecies, and it says that the Scarlet Witch is gonna end the world or whatever, right?
Basically, that like she's too powerful and she has to be like stop.
What ends up happening? Obviously, Wanda wins the fight against Agatha, and then Wanda absorbs Agatha's powers. And Wanda's like, "I promise, I'll never read the book. I'm not gonna be evil." She reads it at the end, and then she attacks the camera.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll find out what happens there in Doctor Strange too.
I mean, she's 100% a villain now. Like,
We don't. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. Like, I don't think there's any question that she's gonna be a villain.
I don't think she's a villain, but I think she is going to be responsible for what's happening in Doctor Strange too. Well, that in combination with No Way Home, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in the mid-credit scene for No Way Home. Whatever it ends up being, I'm pretty sure the mid-credit scene is gonna have the teaser for Multiverse of Madness, and No Way Home's supposed to lead directly into Multiverse of Madness, so we'll see what happens there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wherever Doctor Strange ends off in No Way Home, it's gonna lead directly into Multiverse of Madness. But WandaVision is in it. I mean, Wanda is in it. Not Wanda.
Yeah, so like, we mentioned this before, but before you watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you obviously have to watch the first Doctor Strange. But the three main things are Loki, WandaVision, and No Way Home. So we'll see how that fits in. Loki obviously because of the multiverse, No Way Home because of the shit that happens in the movie, and WandaVision because Wanda reads the book.
I'll have more to say about that in a week maybe, or in 2 weeks.
Yeah, when the No Way Home comes out, I'm probably just gonna suck up and watch the cam rip, probably.
Hopefully, you can find a good quality one that doesn't ruin the movie experience for you.
Yeah. But with that being said, we went through every episode. We talked about all the characters. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, WandaVision is a really good show if you only watch the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, we've both said this a lot, but I feel like if WandaVision stuck its landing a little bit better, I'd like it more. The ending is also just really weird. Like, the final battle happens and she absorbs Agnes's powers, right? I mean, she just kind of leaves. Like, she gets no proper repercussions for her actions. And, like, the military invades Westview in the end, and they try to arrest her, but then, what's her name from the Marvels? I don't remember the character's name.
Monica.
Monica's like,
She
oh
gets her
no,
powers.
she was grieving. You can't blame her. But like, yeah, you can. And all the villagers still hate her. But Wanda just kind of leaves and lives in isolation with her book.
Yeah, she lives in like a cabin in the woods, and like there's like the after credit scene is like she's in a cabin in the woods, and she's like drinking tea or whatever. You go inside the house. Oh, she's evil and she's reading the book.
Like, I don't know. I wish, like, the last 2 episodes I just don't like.
No, they're not
I think
good.
if the show handled its dealing with grief thing better, I'd like the show more. But overall, just it really fails to stick the landing with me. It is good teaser bait for future MCU projects. There's that.
Yeah, so it's very disappointing how the show ended, but that beginning is unmatched. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch anything that's quite like that.
It's definitely very unique for Marvel.
Yeah,
The MCU tends to play.
I would watch an entire show like that. I mean that's pretty much the Twilight Zone.
Well,
So.
yeah, I was gonna say like it exists. It's called the Twilight Zone, which the whole show is basically referencing.
Yeah,
But
we didn't mention that the entire show is basically the Twilight Zone or Black Mirror. So, you know,
the MCU, in my opinion, has a bit of a problem with playing things safe, and a lot of these movies kind of bleeding together. But this intro just felt very fun and unique, and I hope we get more of that.
yeah, so far Hawkeye is looking like a really good show. New episode came out today at the time of recording. Haven't seen it yet. We're probably going to watch it later.
Yeah, maybe.
I really like Hawkeye. Feels
Yeah, I like
good.
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard is really great. Maybe we'll have more to say about that.
Oh, maybe we will.
But with that being said, we're gonna get ready to move on to backlogged, not hot off the presses. So when we talk about TV shows, because they're very different and we review them very differently, we're gonna skip hot off the presses. Also because we recorded the last episode 3 days ago.
Yep, not much has happened in the past 3 days.
Yeah.
There's been some No Way Home interviews that have excited me.
Other than
But
that, that's it.
I guess Lib and I can talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, let's talk cinema, but actually cinema this time.
Yeah, so let's move on to Backlogged, the segment where we recommend each other movies and then use those movies to talk about, use those movies to review for the next episode after that. So Pat, why don't you go ahead?
So 2 episodes ago, I recommended Lib anime garbage, aka Interstellar 5555. So in exchange, he recommended me anime garbage. No, he recommended me Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva.
Yes.
I had never seen this. This is based on a video game. I had played the 3DS Professor Layton game. I might have played the first game as well. I don't remember. It's been a long time. My R4 days were a long time ago.
Oh my god, R4.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva, based on the Professor Layton series. It's basically Sherlock Holmes, but video game.
Yeah.
And for people who know me in my personal life, I love Sherlock Holmes. Specifically, I love House MD. Which is basically Sherlock Holmes.
But a hospital.
But a hospital. It's a medical drama instead of a mystery drama. But it's about solving mysteries. But yeah, so I went into this a little excited because I like mystery stuff. I liked the 3DS game enough. Yeah, and it's not long, so I figured why not? It'll be fun to put on the background. And I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. 7 out of 10.
Nice.
I had fun with this. Best video game adaptation? I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is also kind of cheating because it's made by the creators of the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating. It's not really an adaptation. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I made a joke on Letterboxd that this is my favorite episode of Sherlock, a show that I have not finished. Ironically, for someone who calls himself a Sherlock Holmes fan, haven't finished arguably the most popular Sherlock Holmes adaptation. But yeah, I enjoyed this. Thought it was fun. I watched the English dub.
Okay.
I would assume there's a Japanese dub. I haven't heard it.
Yes, there's a Japanese version.
Yeah. I heard the English dub. I thought the English dub was fine. Is it the same actors from the games?
Most of the voices from the English dub of this movie are the voices of the characters from the US versions of the game. But as for the other characters, they got other voice actors, and I know some of them kind of didn't sound great.
Yeah, but I would rather they like something that really bothers me about the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 voice acting situation
Yeah.
is Sonic and Knuckles aren't voiced by their game voice actors, but Tails is, and it's just really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Given the opportunity, I like when they give actual voice actors the chance to voice their characters in big budget films. Something Charles Martinet should have been doing for the Mario movie, but that's a different conversation, right?
Right.
But yeah, I like this. Maybe I'll go back and replay the games because I have this under my belt now. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, this is my favorite anime. Not a long list of animes I've seen.
I feel like if I did play all the games or I had some kind of background with this franchise, I'd like this movie more. So maybe that's something I'll go back and do now. But yeah, if you're a fan of the game, I'd recommend this. That was a fun time.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about this movie is they did actually find a way to implement the puzzles into the movie. They did it in a weird way, but they found a way.
Yeah, and and any kind of accuracy is good in my book.
Yeah, so really, really good movie on its own. Amazing movie if you're a huge fan of the series. And also if you just like early 2000s anime, this is a pretty good one. I gave it 4 out of 5.
Now it's my turn to recommend you a movie.
Yeah.
This one's going to be interesting. I think this is a podcast first. I'm recommending you a movie I also haven't seen,
Yeah,
but it's a movie that I wanted to see for the longest time,
technically not a
and I kept
recommendation, but a suggestion.
a suggestion station. Um, yes, it's a movie I've been putting off for a very long time, and I keep hearing phenomenal things about it. But I haven't gotten around to it, and I really want to. I saw it on your watch list, and I'm like, you know what? You should watch it, and I should watch it. So we're gonna watch it. It's a Whiplash.
Whiplash! Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
I know people who put this on their top 10 movies ever made list. I have two friends of mine who say this is their favorite movie ever made. So I'm excited. I really want to watch this.
J.K. Simmons is the teacher.
Yeah. Heads up though, similar situation to La La Land, where depending on how we feel, we might come back and revisit this as a full episode.
Yeah, we
We'll see
might.
how that goes next week. But yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's an interesting one. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
Same.
Well,
Should we reveal what we're doing next week?
yeah, let's do it.
So, my co-host, what are we reviewing next week?
So, next week we're doing a very special Christmas episode because that this episode is coming out on the 16th. If all goes well, it should go well because there's a week in advance. So so the episode after this is coming on the 23rd. So it'll be the day before Christmas Eve. So we're going to do 2 Christmas episodes. We're going to do one next week and we're going to do one the week after that. The first one is going to be on my favorite Christmas movie, and the second one's going to be on Pat's favorite Christmas movie. So, next week, we're going to be reviewing Elf, starring Will Ferrell.
The week after, you'll have to watch the next episode to find out. What's my Christmas movie? Who knows?
You might already know it. Listen to the podcast to find out.
Yes, sir.
Where can you listen to the podcast? Everywhere. Everywhere is the answer.
You could watch us on the Jazzwalkers YouTube channel. You can watch us on our YouTube channel.
That too.
On Spotify, on Apple Music,
Yeah.
and a bunch more places that are on our link tree, where you can also find our Letterboxd accounts, our social media profiles, and a bunch of other nice things.
Mainly, you will find a Google form that you could fill out to recommend us a movie or TV show. Now that you've seen how we review TV shows, maybe you'll want to recommend us and give us something to binge. It's been a while since I've actually binged a show back to back, so
Yeah, just for future reference on TV shows, if you recommend us something like The Office that has 9 seasons, we're not going to be reviewing the whole show in one go.
Yeah, and also if you want us to, if you think we've already seen it, you could also recommend a specific season if you want us to recommend it, to review a specific season. Like, say we both seen BoJack Horseman. My favorite season of BoJack Horseman is season 4, so maybe you could be like, review season 4. Fill out that form, recommend us a show or movie, and we'll watch it, and then maybe review it for an episode of the podcast. And make sure, another thing, to join us on the 2nd annual Disaster Party live stream for the charity Stand Up to Cancer that's happening on twitch.tv/ToonManLive on the 19th of December 2021 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's gonna be a 6-hour long stream. We're gonna have some prizes. We're gonna have some guests. We're going to just be having a lot of fun and raising money for a really good cause to children and adults who need it most. So remember, December 19th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/ToonManLive, charity stream for Stand Up to Cancer. And thank you, everybody, so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. We'll see you all next week in a theater near you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.